welcome back to my channel. And today we are back with a new video that is super helpful if you're thinking about moving to a different country. Okay, I am from Montreal, Canada. I moved to Paris about 6 months ago, and I just want to give you guys tips on moving to a different country, what to prepare for, what not to forget, and just the whole process of moving. So if you're interested, stay tuned, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing is, what is your plan? What is your project? What is your motive? In my case, I am here to study. So I'm doing a master's degree in marketing, and just to give you guys a
Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real!
Background, I did finance, so I did a bachelor's degree in finance in Montreal, and then I worked at the bank. I worked in investments for a couple years, but right from the get-go, right from the moment I studied, I knew that I wanted something different. I wanted to get in communications or marketing, and I didn't have the heart, I didn't have the energy to go back to school at the time and to do a whole new bachelor's degree, a whole like 4 years, 5 years, whatever amount of time it was gonna take. And so I thought, you know what, I need to go back to school at this point. The bank just wasn't it for me. I knew I just wanted something different, something more creative, or something that would allow me to express myself a bit more. And that's when I started looking into the programs, and no real programs interested me in Montreal. And so I decided to apply abroad. And I also thought, if I'm gonna go back to school full-time and I'm gonna be broke again, might as well be broke somewhere else and live that student journey somewhere else. So what I thought was really cool about France was that they had the programme en alternance, which is basically allowing you to do, it's like an internship, but in your school schedule. So basically it's 1 week of school full-time, and then you have 2 weeks of internship. 1 week of school, 2 weeks of internship. And that's cycled throughout the whole year. And so you have working experience. Chances are you are gonna get hired by that firm that you worked for during your internship, and you are getting paid, and school is free when you do that. And so that was the best plan. And that's why I thought, you know what, if I'm not gonna be paying for school, or if I have internship, or even if I pay my first year, at least my second year, I'll have my master's degree, I'll have working experience, and chances are I will get hired and have professional experience in France, in Paris. And so I thought that was just super cool. And so that's where it came about. I knew people in Paris. I had gone to Paris a couple of times, and I started looking into the programs, into the business schools, and I just thought, you know what, let's give it a shot. And so I found a couple programs, a couple schools, and the first thing I did was to make sure it was recognized in Montreal, because I do want to go back and live in Montreal. And so I made sure that the programs I wanted to apply for were recognized. I then applied for the universities I was looking for the programs I was interested in. Once I got in, I applied for the visa. I got a student visa. It came in probably like 3 days. And they asked from the acceptance letter from the school, they asked payslips from work to make sure you had money coming in, a bit of money aside, so I think it was like $5,000, I believe, and then accommodation. So they had to make sure that you had accommodation once you got there, and I believe your flight. And your flight. And I got the visa super quickly. So that was done. Once that was done, I then went ahead and applied for scholarships. So these were the steps that went into my program, my scholarships, my visa, my acceptance. Once that's done, I had to make sure I had a place to stay, right? So accommodation, thankfully I had people here. I didn't have too much trouble with accommodation, which I'll get into in a couple videos from now. For accommodation, make sure you research where you want to stay, because you don't want to book something and then you are in a neighborhood you don't even like. So do your research in advance. Things to do once you get to a country is open up a bank account, open up a French line in my case, or a French number. Make sure you have health insurance. 3 things that are important that you need to take care of as soon as you get here. But most importantly, what not to forget. By the way, I'm looking at I have like notes here and stuff, and look how cute this is. I got it from AliExpress. Super cute. Ah, love it. So anyways, what not to forget. Super, super, super duper important things, okay? Number 1, save as much money as you can. I know we all have big projects to travel and live abroad and do this and do that, and we have so many things to pay, but if that is really a goal of yours, make sure you save enough money to make it happen. You also don't want to move and be stuck not finding a job, be in a rut. You really want to make sure that you are comfortable. You don't want to be stressed out. And so even if they ask you for $5,000 for the visa, make sure you have a little more, because you never know what happens. Or make sure that credit card is clear so you can use it and swipe it, okay? Yes, so that is number 1. Make sure you have at least 3 months worth of expenses. Expenses meaning your rent, your phone bill, your bus pass, your food, your insurance. Number 2, make sure your passport is valid. Make sure your passport is going to be valid for a couple years, at least a year. And if you have to renew it, make sure you renew it before you travel. Don't wait last minute. Just get things done, get things moving. You don't want to be stressed out having to go back home because your visa is expiring. Because your passport is expiring. You just want things to be clear. Next point that's super important is, so what are you shipping to the country you're moving into? What are you storing and what are you selling? Okay. I was lucky enough to live with my mom. I miss my mom. And so basically whatever I didn't take, I left at the house. So at her house. But for people who live alone, for people who have like a shit ton of furniture in their apartment, who maybe don't have family, make sure you have storage. Make sure you pick and choose what you want to keep and store, what you want to sell, and what you want to ship to your new destination. So that's important, something to think about. Make copies of every important document. So your passport, your visa, your birth certificate, marriage certificate, your diplomas, your acceptance letter from school, or letter, any type of letter from any type of job, pay slips, just every important document, health insurance. Make sure you have it all, because they will ask you these things when you open an account, a bank account, when you apply for work or anything. The administration here is very, very complicated, very expensive, and it takes forever. So these are things you really need to have on hand if you want, process to be sped up. You want to make sure you have an adapter or a converter for all your electronics. You can find that at the airport, you can find that anywhere, but I chose to take mine from Montreal, or even buy it directly in Montreal, because the currency here is higher than the one in Canada. So euro is higher than Canadian currency or Canadian dollars. And so 20 euros versus 20 Canadian dollars. I just thought, you know what, let me save a little bit and take the one from Canada. And then lastly, call your phone provider, internet, your bank, and just let them know you're going to be away, you want to cut the contracts, you want to suspend any phone lines, you want to let your bank know that you're traveling or you're going to be away for some time, and you're probably going to be using your credit card, so not to cut things or think it's like a suspicious type of transaction. And so here are my tips to help you get ready to move abroad. I hope you found this helpful. This is my experience. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, leave a thumbs up, because that is gonna help me. Click subscribe, click on the bell, and I'll see you guys next week.